Hey, what's up? This is Steve USS Cunningham here, and I'm rocking with Sporting Icons. Make sure you check them guys out, man. Word up.
Okay, so Deontay Wilder has claimed that Andy Ruiz Jr. was asking for $20 to $25 million to fight him. Now, the WBC ordered Wilder versus Ruiz, or Ruiz versus Wilder, however which way, back in November of last year. So you're talking about 9 months ago. And it's only just now the WBC have pulled the plug on it. So they allowed Wilder and Ruiz to freely negotiate for 8 to 9 months, which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And the biggest mistake that they made was the fact that they allowed them to freely negotiate. They didn't put a deadline in, that would be the first one, and they didn't put what each of them would get, as in a specific purse split, as they would normally do. They didn't do it for this one. Now, the WBC created a PBC-only tournament of Wilder versus Helenius and Ruiz versus Ortiz. Winners fight each other, final eliminated to become the WBC Mandatory challenger for the full title that Tyson Fury currently has. So that was the WBC's biggest mistake. And I can only put it down to the fact that they're so biased when it comes to the PBC, they didn't want to step on their toes. Is that down to brown envelopes? I don't know. But if what Deontay Wilder is saying is true, that Andy Ruiz Jr. is asking for 20 to 25 million, firstly, that's a whole heap of money. That's way too much money. Way too much money. That's probably more money than what was in the pot for both of them. Okay? But one thing that kind of stands out to me a little bit is the fact that Wilder says 20 to 25 million. He didn't say 20 million. He didn't say 25 million. He said 20 to 25 million. So what does that mean? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25? Which one is it? So either he's making that number up, or, well, he must be making the number up then, can't he? Because if he knows for sure, then he would have said, well, he's asking for 21 million, he's asking for 25 million, he's asking for 24 million, wouldn't he? So that strikes me as a little bit odd, the fact that he doesn't know the specific number. Surely he would know, right? Now, as I said before, I don't know why they were negotiating an exact dollar amount. I don't know why that they were doing that. The PBC don't usually do that anyway. They don't usually give, well, lately, they don't even give guarantees. It's all based on pay-per-view numbers. The more you generate, the more you get paid. If your pay-per-view flops, well, you don't get a very good purse. If it does fantastically well, then you get a very good purse. That's usually how the PBC do their model lately over the last couple of years. So that does surprise me that Andy Ruiz Jr. was asking for a specific amount. Now, is Deontay Wilder just copying the Tyson Fury handbook here by saying that he wants to fight Andy Ruiz Jr. and Andy Ruiz Jr. is asking for over 20 million? That's what Tyson Fury said, that Andy Ruiz Jr. was asking for over 20 million. Is any of that true? I don't know, because what kind of value is Andy Ruiz Jr. putting on himself? Now, granted, Wilder versus Ruiz in America, that would be a pretty good fight, right? That would be a pretty decent fight. That would probably do some pretty good numbers. But in this particular era, we're talking about a lot of people who illegally stream, aren't we? So how much numbers would it really do, considering that Crawford and Spence done, was it 650,000? Which is okay, but it ain't great. And that was considered a big fight. So what would Wilder and Ruiz do? So if it is true that he asked for 20 million plus, that's madness. And what Wilder says there is correct. Who else are you going to fight? Who else are you going to generate this kind of money that you think that you're worth? Who else are you going to fight? Because in reality, there is no one. Andy Ruiz Jr.'s highest paydays would have been against Anthony Joshua. He got around about 7 million for the first fight, apparently, and he got between 13 and 15 million for the rematch. So he's earned over 20 million, but that was across 2 fights against Joshua, who is a pay-per-view superstar. And it was on the Saudi buck as well. Or at least for the second fight. So him versus Wilder, that ain't going to do that kind of numbers to generate that kind of money. It just isn't going to happen. It can't happen. It won't happen. Wilder against Helenius, what was it, 77,000 pay-per-views? That shows that Wilder is not a pay-per-view fighter. He's not. Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Luis Ortiz. I don't know how many that done, to be honest, but apparently not very well. Now, I do think that Wilder, and maybe he was being generous in the negotiations. I don't know. But Andy Ruiz Jr. does bring something to the party. The fact that he does have better wins on his record than Wilder does. Wilder's best win, well, in fact, his only good win, is against Luis Ortiz. Well, Andy Ruiz Jr. also beat Luis Ortiz. Andy Ruiz Jr. has also beaten Anthony Joshua. So, in the negotiations, Andy Ruiz Jr. should get respect for it, regardless of the fact that he was a 6-month champion that Deontay Wilder called him. Well, yeah, he may well have been, but it was against Anthony Joshua. He wasn't having title defences against Artur Spilka and Johan Duapa and Gerald Washington. So, anyway, listen, who knows what the exact number is? Will Andy Ruiz Jr. come out and say, yeah, we was asking for a lot of money because we feel that the fight is that big? Or will he come out and say, not at all, not even close, we didn't even talk about numbers? Who knows what he's going to say? I would ask Andy Ruiz Jr., but he was all open to talk and everything before the Anthony Joshua fight. But then, of course, he became a bit of a superstar overnight. He doesn't really talk to people anymore. What can you do? Diva mentality. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.